So if I want to pursue career in animation and what would be what do you want, or how can I make sure that I'm interested in that?
The crux of it is just like observation and like curiosity. I feel like I love to ask people questions, like if they tell me where they're working or
Good evening, all, and welcome all on behalf of Guru Mantra. Today we are going to have second episode, what we call as Coffee with a Designer. Today we have invited Tanvi Malkarnekar, who is one of the most creative people, and we know Tanvi for last I think 6 or 7 years, when she was just a little child, graduated, no, not even graduated, 10th grade completed, and she took admission at Guru Mantra. She completed her 12th grade and she got into NID Ahmedabad, and her journey started at NID Ahmedabad, and she is currently doing her freelancing work. So, in today's conversation, we are not going to ask about her journey in Guru Mantra, but we will be talking about what she studied at NID and what is she doing post NID. Okay, so welcome Tanvi.
Hello.
On behalf of Guru Mantra,
Yes.
we are really proud to have you over here.
Thank you so much.
And it's so nice to see you in this. We are sitting next to each
It's
other.
good to be back also.
Yeah. Okay. So cool.
Yeah.
So I gave a brief background about you. So you completed your graduation from one of the top institutes, and you are now practicing. We'll talk more about that.
Yeah.
But what was that decision? What was that trigger to take animation and film design as your specialization? And we can have coffee while we talk.
Yeah. So this is going to be a little bit of a longer answer, but I think like ever since I was small, I would just want to tell stories all the time. Like I was always writing. I used to fill books with stories, and I think like just if you meet my relatives also, they'll tell you that I didn't stop talking. Like I would just keep making up stories, and I think that's the first reason I think film and animation intrigued me so much, because personally I feel like when I watch a really good movie that leaves an impact on me and that I keep thinking about it does, like I carry it with me. It makes an impact on who I am as a person, and if I can do that for other people, then that's amazing. And that's I think why I went into animation and film, and animation specifically because I think like when we're kids, we were so into like fantasy and magic, and I read so much Harry Potter and all of these things, and I think there's so much of that in animation. It's like it brings out the humanity in people. Like it really goes to the core of what it means to be a human, but with a touch of like magic in it, and that's such a beautiful part of storytelling. So I think that's why I went into this field.
Right. But after your first year, what we call as foundation year, you got an option of selecting product design, communication design, lifestyle and accessory, or whatever.
Yeah.
So did you go through that, or you had made your mind right in the beginning that I would go for film and animation?
I think I always knew that I was more like geared towards visual communication, whether that's graphic design or film, animation, exhibition design. Like I think my brain, when it comes to like more like industrial design, product design, it doesn't go so well. But and then I think in our first year at NID, we had a lot of like we got to see the juries of our seniors from all different disciplines. And I think through that process, especially when I saw the animation juries, I was like, oh, this is exactly what I want to do. Like I want to make films. I want to talk about different niche things and make a difference in that way. So I think after I saw all of the juries, I think I was pretty clear that, okay, I want to do animation now. So yeah.
Wonderful. Now I am a student who is already in 10th grade or 11th grade, and I like, watching anime, and I'm a big fan of Harry Potter, so on and so forth. So if I want to pursue career in animation and film, what do you want, or how can I make sure that I'm interested in that, or what are the abilities required to become a good animator, so as to say?
Okay, I would say like even when I was in NID, like the whole discipline is animation film design. So we don't just learn the act of animating. It's also like how do you write a script, how do you do voice recording, like how do you get your actors to record, how do you come up with your characters, what is the backstory for your characters, and then you actually animate, and then you do all the post production. So I think like. Coming back to your question, like how do I become like somebody who is capable of doing animation film design? I think, I mean, I'm not like anyone to like give in my opinion, I feel like the crux of it is just like observation and like curiosity. I feel like I love to ask people questions, like if they tell me where they're working, or who their best friend is. I'm very curious, I think, as a person, and I'm always asking people questions. And I think that's also a really good way to be an empath, so I think just trying to observe the world around you at all times, be open-minded, be curious, because that will inform all your storytelling. Like you can't write a good story if you don't understand how human nature works, right? So I think that is the baseline for it. And then of course, the more you draw, the more you paint, those are like the technical skills. But again, it depends what path you want to take. But yeah, I would say just
I remember we met sometime, and you showed me your Guru Mantra journal, and it was full of caricatures and full of interesting human sketches and so on and so forth. I thought that was also foundational technical skill that you got.
Yes.
Superb. So, but I had a query over here that you did your BDS in film and animation. Yeah. There are some courses, 59 rupees film and animation. There are 99 on Instagram.
Yeah.
So there is a BA in animation, BCom in animation, BSc in animation, so on and so forth. So what is that difference? How can you distinguish between this?
I should have prepared.
99 rupees mein milta hai na, so.
Honestly, like I don't know much. I don't know what to say about this, because I have only experienced one of these things, which is BDES in animation. And I think it's just the faculty that we got, right? Like not all of them, but there were a few visiting faculty that we got in NID that really, like, they changed my outlook on this entire field. And I feel like, I think anyone who is motivated can do great things. Like even with a 99 rupee course, I'm sure somebody will do amazing things. But I think the exposure I think peer learning was a huge help. Like that you probably won't get in a 99 rupee course, right? Like the amount of talent that I was surrounded by, like I learned so much from my batchmates. So that played the biggest role. I would say, like, yeah, that's what matters. Your own motivation and the people around you.
Brilliant. Very good. Very good. Now we just moved to, you have done the graduation, now you're into that practical world. What are you currently doing?
Okay, so I was working on my graduation project until last year, July. And after that, I started freelancing. Currently, I'm working in an animation department at a production house. But speaking more about my freelance journey, I was like very lucky actually. My brother runs a design agency. So he has a lot of clients.
Yeah.
So, through that, I got a lot of exposure to do a lot of freelance projects. Yeah.
Okay. So after graduation, after BDES, you had an opportunity to do masters, or you had an opportunity to do a job. I'm sure you would have got a job. So, or you can now also get a job.
Yeah.
But you chose to join hands with your brother's agency. That's Kite.
Yeah.
Design company.
Yeah.
So, did you not think of doing masters, or what are your future plans?
So, immediately after I graduated, I think I was still figuring out. Like, I feel like a lot of design students after they graduate, they're like, I like so many things and I don't know what to do now. And you're a little lost. So I thought, you know what, let me just start building my portfolio. Let me start going through all my projects that I've done and see which ones which were the ones that I really loved. and then maybe from there I'll get more direction about like what kind of a job I want to apply for. So in that process, I realized that I really want to go into creative direction. At least now,
Okay.
I think even when it comes like I spoke about storytelling, right? The whole pre-production aspect of it, like developing the characters, figuring out the story, that is it. It's so special for me, and I think even if you're just working with a brand and you're trying to rebrand the company, or you're trying to make an ad for them, what is the story, like what are we trying to say here? And I think that that really drew me to like want to go into creative direction. So I was building my portfolio, and meanwhile I was also freelancing through my brother's agency. And then we got a project for Vidyavali School, which is a school in Pune that I also I was in Vidyavali, and they wanted to make a documentary about the principal of the school. She's now 80 years old, and she started the school with 7 students, and now it's at 2,000 students. So for that documentary, I was the creative director. So I had to, take all the interviews, figure out the story. You have 10 hours of recording of people talking. How do I cut that down to 30 minutes of us, like a proper succinct story? So yeah, that I think. Sorry, sir. I feel like I just kept talking.
No worries, no worries. This is your show.
Yeah, So I think I started with that thought of, okay, what do I want to do now? Then I started freelancing, and through my freelancing, I did all sorts of different roles, not just creative direction. Like I did infographics for some company, I did illustration work for some other clients. And now I'm doing something entirely different, which is how life is. But I think even this, like after this project ends, I would like to go back into creative direction and see what.
So you said you're doing something else. Can you just share?
Yeah. So there is a production house in Mumbai called Odd and Even Studios, and Odd and Even Studios, in partnering with Otter Studios, we are making an Indian animated film called Heirloom, and it has been a work in progress for the last 4 or 5 years. It's a beautiful film about a Gujarati family in Ahmedabad. I'll not say more than that, but it will be releasing in the next couple of years, and it's a huge step in Indian animation.
Wonderful.
And it's led by Upmanyu Bhattacharya, who's a very prominent figure in the 2D animated space in India. And I think like right now I'm doing a lot of animation work, actually. So I'm doing a lot of the technical aspects of the work. I'm not doing creative direction or pre-production. But I think for me, this was like a once in a lifetime opportunity. It's a 6-month project, and it's such a beautiful story. So I think I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. And then after that, I can come back to my creative direction path.
Right. Yeah. Very interesting, So 2 questions over here. One is many of the students or, young generation want to know how designers work. Okay. So I'll put it into a very standard frame that we use in design. What would be, or what is your typical working day?
Okay. Well, it starts with me trying to wake up at 7:30, which never happens. Basically, I think one of my teachers said this to me. He said that, how will you tell stories if you don't live? So from that day, I think like I just realized that if you're a designer and you don't have work-life balance, like how are you going to be creative? If you're burnt out, how are you going to be creative? So one thing is that, 10 to 6, I'm working hard, I'm doing my work. But then post that, like I make it a point to spend time with my family, spend time with my friends. Now we're watching the FIFA World Cup matches at night. Just like watching interesting movies that I think could help me with my storytelling. Sketching if I'm bored, playing music, just, really following my passion and like doing some hobbies on the side. But yeah, I think my typical day is just like anyone's, I'm working, I'm trying to take care of my health, and I'm trying to enjoy life. So yeah.
So you spoke about your, what you're doing. So there could be many students from your batch or your friends. What are they doing currently? because they also completed. I'm
Right.
talking about only film and animation.
Yeah.
So what does the career look like?
It's crazy. Like, I don't think there were 22 people in my animation batch, and I don't think anyone is doing the same thing as the next person.
Okay.
So right now, I have a friend who is working in a big corporate in Delhi, and she's enjoying it. It's a lot of like motion graphics work and stuff like that. Then I have another friend who's working in a smaller studio in Chennai, and she's doing a lot of ad work where she's coming up with those ideas. One of my friends started his own studio. So I think like it's such a good time to be a designer. I mean, even though I know everything seems bleak right now in the situation, but I think you have so many opportunities as a designer. There's so much you can do, and I feel like you can really, like, so much of it is that, okay, I'm watching this YouTube tutorial and I've learned this new software, and okay, I'm watching this new film, I've developed this new skill. You can keep upskilling as a designer. Like, you don't. It's a lifelong process. So I think that's why all of us are doing completely different things, and we're all enjoying ourselves. And yeah, I think it's exciting. Yeah.
Wonderful. By the way, this is not a scripted video. It's very open-ended, and it's just a conversation. So people are talking about AI impact.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
And animation also can't escape that, because one of my friends, he showed artificial or AI based Instagram influencer. So
yeah.
he created an influencer.
Yeah.
And she goes anywhere instead of human, it's an anthropomorphic animate character, AI character. So how do you say, if I want to get into animation and I'm in 11th grade or 12th grade, but I love sketching, I'm a very good at storytelling, and but at the click of Claude or Gemini, I get a story. Nano Banana can create interesting visuals, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So what would be the impact of AI?
I think, like, I'm experiencing this myself right now, but I still think that there is something to be said about like originality, because AI is fully trained on what humans have already put out there.
Yeah.
So what humans haven't put out there, AI doesn't know. So there's still so much scope for people to keep creating things. And yeah, like, I think, like, there's always been, there was the industrial revolution, now there's the digital revolution, now there's this AI revolution. Like, it's going to keep happening. And I think, like, for me, at least, like, I know everyone has completely different takes on this, but for me, it's like, okay, I want to kind of keep up with what's happening, but I would never want to rely on AI tools to replace my storytelling.
Yeah.
That is something that I don't think, I think I will always be able to come up with new things. And yeah, I think, like, it's a like, right now it's very exciting also, like, what's happening in AI for a lot of people, but I think it is a phase. It is like a trend. I mean, like, if you look at cameras also, right? Like, first everyone, like, when they were using film cameras, and then the digital cameras came, and film cameras were dead. Like, everyone's using fast. We'll take so many pictures, we'll print. So now everyone's using phones, and now slowly, like, film cameras have become so, like, niche again. Like, everyone wants that film look, everyone wants that grainy look, everyone wants that human feel to it again. So I think it will always be there. Like, that need for, like, the human touch and for human originality, it will always be there. And even right now, the company that I'm working with, they really pride themselves in saying that, oh, we have used no AI. And maybe eventually AI will be able to replicate this style of work that we do, but I think there will always be a market for people who pride themselves in being original.
Yeah.
So
very nice. Yeah. Very good. Two questions. One is, tell us more about your final year project, which I would really like to understand more.
Yeah. So I'll be.
And question two is, in 2032, where would you be? It's an imaginary exploration. But let's go to first one.
Okay, yeah. So the first one, I'll be screening my film also. It's a 7-minute short film. So that is an animated documentary. Actually, before I made this film, in my last year of college, we had to make another short film where I interviewed my family, and
Okay.
like it was mostly the story of my mom. Like she was in her 50s, and as a lot of women struggling with menopause, your mental health is going up and down. There isn't enough research about it. You don't know what's happening. And for me, it was like, I think this is a very important story. Like, even though this is just my family, there's just, four people in this big world, like, I want to tell my mom's story.
Yeah.
So I think that process was so fun for me. Like, I did a lot of like cutout animation, collage animation. I interviewed my family. I found old footage of us from like 2002. I stitched all of that together and I made a film. And that's when I was like, oh, I love this style of documentary storytelling because, like I said, I think everyone has a story to tell. You just have to ask the right questions. So even for my graduation project, I decided I want to do the same form of documentary storytelling. And I'll be screening it later. But basically, I talk to children like 7 to 9, and I ask them about life. Like I just asked them, they spoke about anger, friendship, loss, existence. And I just found their thoughts to be so profound.
Yeah.
I'll show it to you later. But
Right.
yeah, that was basically it's a bit of an abstract experimental film. It's an animated film, and
It won
Yeah.
some awards as well, right?
yes, it got selected for a couple of festivals around India. Like I went to Dharamshala. Diff is a pretty big one. That was
Yeah.
a great experience. And then recently at the Pune Short Film Festival, it got best screenplay.
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, I'm excited to show you guys later. But yeah, so
Super. Okay. And about your future roadmap.
oh yes, 2032, right? Okay, that's 6 years from now.
Yeah.
I
You're
am.
good at math.
I am. How old am I? I'm 23, and in 6 years I'll be 29. Okay, cool. I just needed that. 29. Oh my god. To be honest, sir, I really don't know. I think maybe by then I might have done my masters, might
Mhm.
not have done my masters. I hope that at least right now, I would hope that I'm still in the field of creative direction. Like, no matter if I'm doing animation or film or, just ads, like, I really want to be the one trying to come up with the story and telling a story. Like, that's my whole thing. And yeah, maybe I'll be like, married or something. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I hope I'm just, again, like, enjoying my life, working
Yeah.
hard, and doing what I love. Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And before we close, again, couple of questions. One is, can I call animator or art director? What is the right?
Anything, sir. But yeah, both
Okay.
work. Yeah.
So, what is that happy moment in the life of a creative director stroke animator? And what is that tough or sad moment in the life?
Oh, okay. When I'm speaking like technically when it comes to projects, I think the happiest moment is so for the last couple of projects that I've worked on, like I said, I've gotten 10 hours, 14 hours of footage. And then when you cut that down and you have your final cut and you listen to that final cut and you're like, this is it. Like, I've got my narrative.
Oh.
I think that's when I feel really proud of myself, and that's very happy. And I think tough moment is I tough moments are always happening. I feel like when you're I think it's sometimes you get blocked.
Yeah.
There's always like you get blocked as a creative person, or you're always, because of like social media also, it's very easy to compare yourself to other people and be like, oh, this person's work is so cool, this person is doing this and that. So yeah, like I try not to get caught in it, obviously, but it does happen from time to time, and then you question your own abilities. But I think that happens to everyone, so yeah, just keep at it.
Yeah. And as a designer, you need to learn how to
Yeah.
overcome those
Exactly.
creative blocks, and there are some ways. But these blocks are also very essential part of our journey. Then something new comes.
Yeah.
Excellent. And since you have achieved something, I'm not putting you on a different plane or different platform, but you are also pretty young, started your career. You got a good exposure, good peers, good mentoring, starting
Yeah.
from Guru Mantra,
Yes.
so on and so forth. So, if I want to become a designer,
Hmm.
Okay, and this question we ask to every person who joins this program is, what are those 2 3 things you would share? What would be your advice, or what would be your friendly suggestion to young generation who want to make career in design?
I think, again, it's a personal journey for everyone. For what I would say is, like I said earlier, like be curious, like stay curious. Like that is the most important thing. If you don't understand the people you're working with, then your work is not going to reflect that. So I think being curious is very important. And secondly, um, it's a lot of just like putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a lot of designers and design students, like even me still, like I fall into this trap of like, oh, I'm not good enough to take up this job, or
Yeah.
I'm not capable yet to take up this job. But you won't be until you go there, and sometimes
Yeah.
you just have to throw yourself into the deep end and just start doing things and let go of that fear of failing. That's one more thing. And thirdly, I think like believe in yourself and keep sharpening your skills. Like
Yeah.
it's okay if you're not good at everything. I'm not, like, I'm an animator and I don't think I'm good at drawing. Like it's okay. But I want to get really good at storytelling, and I want to do that. So I will like throw myself into that. I will try to read as much as I can and like watch interesting things and read up about those, because that's what I want to do. So yeah, I think very basic answers.
Wonderful.
But yeah.
No, you think basic, but those are very
Yeah.
important. And when it comes from you, it surely helps
Yeah.
everyone. Really last question.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
So, if I'm trying to become a designer and uh, I want to be successful designer, obviously everyone wants to be. Uh, and I'm preparing for design. Okay, and I want to get into, I won't name any of the design schools, but I want to get into the best design school. If you wouldn't have got into NID and if you would have got into something else, what difference it would have made?
Honestly, like we were discussing this earlier also, like I don't really think it matters which design school you come from or where you go. The important thing is like how motivated are you?
Yeah.
I think being at NID gave me an advantage because I was surrounded by a lot of really talented people, and that's the case in all design schools,
Yeah.
honestly. But you just have to be like open to like getting their feedback, open to like meeting all these new kinds of people. And yeah, like I think if I hadn't gotten into NID, or if I was in any other design school, I think like I would have still loved the same things that I love now. I would have probably done some different projects. Maybe I would have had some skills that I don't have now, and maybe I, like pros and cons,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So I don't think it matters that much. I think it's just about you and what you choose to do. So yeah.
Wonderful, Tanvi. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you,
And
sir.
now we'll open for any questions from audience. Here are so many people sitting. So,
Yeah.
are there any questions which you want to ask to Tanvi? Any questions? That's okay. Yes.
How did you manage your school studies along with
Uh,
design practice?
I was really lucky. I went to like what you would call a dummy college. So yeah, I don't have advice for that. But yeah, I think you'll get through it, man. Like just like honestly, just try to like don't burn yourself out. You're I would say prioritize design entrances maybe if that's what you know you want to do, and pass 12th grade, and that you should be fine. I think so. Yeah.
I have a question. I mean, as the day I actually got this week, that you had your brother, right?
Mm.
So that was your plan A. Like you always knew that okay, if I don't go anywhere, I don't get anything in the
Yeah.
market. I have a brother who can
Yeah.
help me.
Correct.
So if he had not been there, what
Hmm.
would you have done? I mean, did you have any plan B?
Yeah, I think obviously like I know I'm really like lucky to have that resource, But I also think that when you're in design school, you make a lot of connections, like your own classmates, right? So even right now, if I check my WhatsApp, I'm like on some four different groups where they're constantly putting out opportunities. So I'm sure that even if I didn't have my brother, there would be something else that would come up, right? And I think I always knew that I wanted to do creative direction, like a role of creative direction, not in my brother's agency. So I was preparing my portfolio and planning to apply to other jobs. And in the meantime, I took up freelance work from my brother. So I think if my brother wasn't there, maybe I would have gotten a job elsewhere, and or I would have picked up freelance projects from my peers. So I think there's a very strong network actually of designers.
Just to set the right context, her brother was also in Guru Mantra, and he did his BDS, and he started his agency called as Kite Design. And I think they started a couple of years back. In fact, they want Tanvi to be more with them, than Tanvi finding that, oh, I have got a cushion and something. Perhaps, it's a kind of a temporary arrangement. I don't think it was a kind of very well established organization, and anytime she can get into
Yeah.
that, and get signed check every month. I saw kuch nahi.
Yeah.
It's more of
He's just 2 years older than me, and he started his agency in his last year of college as a thesis project, and he went on to basically run this startup for, like, now it's almost 3 years, and all the clients that he has gotten are all through word of mouth or through like friends. And so yeah, like even his story is really yeah, like sir said, it wasn't like some well established big company that I had a cushion from. It was yeah, I think he maybe one day, if he also speaks about this, it would be interesting.
yeah.
So for engineers, it's always a job.
Mm.
But in design, you always have this option that you start something of your own, or you get the job.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is there any preference, or should the kids do something specific, like think of starting your own studio, or just don't go that way, just do the job and
Yeah.
that's a safe. Job is always safe, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Starting your own studio, or,
Right.
from risk point of view, there is a very little risk in the job and then definitely the studio. What should the kids
I would say again, it's completely different from every kid, like from every student. But honestly, like if I look at my seniors also, right, like 50% of them are doing jobs and 50% of them are just freelancing, or they have their own studios. And almost like everyone I know who is freelancing, of course, like there is a risk of it being unstable, but you have your own working hours, and then you get insane clients that suddenly you get, like one of my seniors who's only 2 years older than me, he just did the main title animation for the Titan the show that came on
I
Prime.
see.
Yeah. And he, like, that's an opportunity that only came to him because he has been freelancing for a while, right? And I think, like, even with freelancing, there might be there are probably highs and lows for sure. You have times when things are going really well, and then some drier, slower periods. But I think, yeah, like there are pros and cons to each. Like, you really get a lot of exposure through freelancing. You make amazing networks, you get great clients, and with job, obviously you have stability, you have security, so I don't think there's one right answer, like I can't answer that. But whatever you feel suits your personality, like right now, I don't think I would be comfortable starting something of my own. I don't think I have that much experience, so I will be going for jobs. But maybe down the line, if I feel like, okay, I can really start something of my own, I would go for it. Yeah.
So nice.
Say if one is bad at studies, but he still has a lot of creativity in his mind, can he still pursue design?
Yeah, of course. Like, I think bad at, like, do you mean academically, like
Yes.
at school? Yeah, I think that is the case for a lot of students. Like, a lot of people who, maybe didn't do so well academically really find their calling when they come into a space that, like, allows them to express themselves and shine at what they're good at. So I think especially like I feel like the Indian exam system is a bit does depend a lot on like rote learning and things like that. So they're completely different intelligences, in my opinion. So I don't think you need to question that ever. Yeah.
And academically, though you didn't use the word poor, but academically not doing good, it doesn't mean, not getting good marks. What I mean by that is, if you have got a good research ability, design is not only hands work, it's more of a head. So if you can think independently. For example, there is a history paper and they ask about, write a essay on Shivaji, and you create a caricature and show that how he won this sport. You may get very less marks, but it's a really hatke thinking, right? In a history, writing a storyboard. But that is what is required, is a very unique level of thinking or creative mind or coming up with fresh ideas, great observation, and those all are required. It may not get reflected into marks, but I think still that guy is academically good. Only thing is not getting good marks. The metric that we put to measure the
Yeah.
intelligence is wrong is or different.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are different streams in design actually. So you decided to select the stream
Animation.
which you is your liking or the opportunity after your graduation completion. What is your mind while deciding this?
Yeah. So I like touched on it earlier, but I was saying that I really just, since I was small, I really like to write stories, and that kind of made me very interested in film and animation. And I love to draw, I love to write, I love that magical touch in stories and storytelling. So it kind of, towards the end of my first year of college, I knew that okay, if I go into any stream, it will be either animation or film. So I had that clarity. Yeah.
Right now, how is the job market? There are different streams.
Yeah.
So can't really talk about a specific stream.
Yeah.
In general,
So even I'm just starting out right now, and yeah, like I said, I'm working on an animated film right now. It's a project-based thing for 6 months, but I think like most of my friends, at least that I know, everyone is not only employed, but they're also doing things that they like. So at least in my immediate circle, I have not seen such a big impact on anything. And I think like in the budget, they also announced they're making a new NID in Assam, like the whole like orange economy thing. So I think it's a good time to be a designer. And the thing is, like, as AI tools and these kind of things grow, you still need people who know how it works. You still need people who are creative and will know how to use it in the right way. So I think that's why they are also looking for more creative minds now. Yeah.
I got a slightly different viewpoint. Job market is really bad for mediocre designers. Job market is exceptionally good for really talented people. And I mean that. If you meet some guy who is on the road, and he will keep saying, "Ki maine kiya design bides, but I'm not getting a job." So the next question I ask is, show me your portfolio. Is it really kick-ass? Have you done really something different which 20 other kids haven't done? Then it's a job market. It cannot be like engineer, कि मैंने भी कंप्यूटर का कोर्स किया, इसने भी किया, दोनों में से कोई तो सिलेक्ट होगा. So job market is bad for not so good quality designers, but it's amazingly, one guy gets 20 jobs and 20 guys don't get a job. So that's the scene, So I think design is a profession wherein you really need to be passionate. And as Tanvi said, it doesn't matter which design school I go to. Obviously, yes, if you go to top design schools, it will add value because of the peer learning and ambient learning. But otherwise, even from, I was talking with one of the faculty members of MIT today, and he said this year 3 designers from MIT got into Google, and only one guy from IIT got into Google. So should we say that MIT में अच्छा होता है? ऐसा भी नहीं, It's mainly about there would be 3 guys who are really passionate. In fact, Tanvi and I were having a kind of a conversation. There could be a question whether do we really need to go to design school? So that also can be one. Obviously, going to design school, you get some framework, you learn with a very methodical approach, and that structured learning can help you grow as a designer, and it doesn't depend on only intuition or a flow. But job market entirely depends on the quality of the designers. That's what my answer is. Many parents ask me, but I think you really need to be good in an original. When she said about AI impact, the moment originality goes, then you really have a tough time to get a job.
How Guru Mantra help you to get education in NID actually?
Oh, I
And please clear it. Means what things you are not in with you when you reach to Guru Mantra, and what skill you develop to get admission in NID.
अच्छा अच्छा बताओ.
इस कुछ गोष्टी जो चीजें आप आपके पास नहीं थी और आपने एक्वायर की and Guru Mantra help in that things. So that give me this that.
Yeah, I think honestly, and I'm not saying this because I'm in Guru Mantra and Kiransa's next to me, but I think I think I truly built a lot of confidence from Guru Mantra, and I think that was really important for me, right? Because it taught me a lot of life skills, and without learning how to kind of bounce back or learning how to deal with people, learning how to just tackle any challenges that get thrown at you when you're in design school, you'll not be able to progress. And I think in Guru Mantra, the philosophy is that, like sir said, you buckle down, work hard, and be passionate, and be good at what you're doing, but also don't we've said this again and again, the college that you go to, it doesn't really matter that much. It's who you are over there. And I think that philosophy was put into my head in Guru Mantra. And for example, a child who gets into UID from Guru Mantra versus a child who gets into UID from any other design college, design class, their reactions to it will be really different. And that matters so much. If you I think Guru Mantra taught me how to prioritize things that are actually important. So that is one soft skill side of it that I got. And I would say that I came to Guru Mantra in the early years. I think now there's a lot of structure, and there are a lot of but I remember Guru Mantra was constantly kind of pushing me out of my comfort zone. One project when they sent us to the, where was that? So where all the that bhaji market, the
Monday.
We went there, and I had never been. I had never been to I'd never been there before, and I went with my friends, and I just interacted with so many different people over there, and I was like, shit, I'm missing out on so much, and unless, I'm repeating myself again and again, but unless you don't stay curious and stay open-minded about the world, you'll not be a good designer. So I think in that way, Guru Mantra really shaped that philosophy in me, and I carry it even now. So yeah.
Basically, there are some skills called as transferable skills,
Yeah.
and there are some skills are kind of not inborn, but those can be ingrained. Transferable skills, you can teach sketching. Wonderful, you should. Coloring, you should. Or creating paper models. But these are, according to me, is low-level skills. Okay, and what are the high-level skills are kind of how to communicate with the unknown person, how to be confident in gray zone, how to be curious, how to observe people. See, once you start observing in depth and breadth, then you will start sketching rightfully. Otherwise, sketch karo. That sketching is resultant of what you do. Right. So
Yeah.
Guru Mantra, since you're also part of our family, is we are the platform to develop the mindset of the student.
Yeah.
And that mindset development is very important. Design is a mindset. Once you develop that mindset, you can get anything. The first episode which we had, so I asked similar question to the person who had come. So she said, what design school taught me is how to fight. She never said कि अच्छा हमको coloring सिखाया, हमको prototyping से. She said now in the life I can fight doesn't mean having some kind of maramari, but I know what are my rights and I know that I should struggle. That can be getting a customer, that can be selling the concept, that can be influencing the person, that can be getting the job done, or that can be asking confidently about my money. So that is what she said that design school taught her. बाकी transferable skills है, and those transferable skills can be taken over by AI. So हमको sketching सिखाते, I personally don't give a lot of value to that. But these important skills, which are life skills, as Tanvi said, that is where we focus more on.
Yeah, and I also think that Guru Mantra does a good job of identifying a strength in a student and then polishing that strength. Like if somebody cannot maybe make a paper model, they at least in they will not push me to like make the best paper model ever. Like they will see, oh, she's really good at writing. Let's give her something where she can shine in that and sharpen that tool. So I think that was also really unique, I would say, about Guru Mantra. Yeah.
Yes.
How important are pre-university projects and pre-university exposure to get into a good design student?
I think honestly, the more experiences you have, the better it is always. No, like for whatever you do. But personally, I don't think I had that many. Like, what exactly do you mean by exposure?
For example, if I want to do something in product design,
Mm-hmm.
is it important for me to even while I'm at Guru to start getting my hands dirty in product design, start making prototypes, think of problem solutions and so early on?
Yeah, I think if you're interested in it, you should definitely, like for me, I like sir mentioned this, but I had this one sketchbook. I would just find things that I wanted to draw or concept, like if I'm thinking of like some imaginary world, like draw the characters, write down little story notes, and I only did that because I was passionate about it and interested, and I think that really helped me. So like while you're in Guru Mantra and doing Guru Mantra assignments, if you know you're really passionate about a particular thing, definitely like go for it in your yeah.
So just to add to what Tanvi said, if you are passionate, you will do, and you won't
Yeah.
ask this question. Okay? तो चाहे वो फायदा होगा कि करो ना,
Yeah.
या तो नुकसान नहीं होगा तुम्हारा. But since I want to do product design, I am just playing with the wire. That's not the right.
Yeah, yeah.
If you are interested, you will automatically do that.
My question was how important is a strong portfolio when it comes to design schools rather than that 3-hour examinations?
I think like the entrance patterns keep changing all the time. So I had a very like my portfolio round was very important because it was during COVID. So we didn't even have a studio test. So for me, it was really important. But then I think in the following years, the studio test came back. So again, like Sir said, don't make a portfolio for the sake of making something for your portfolio. Like if you just keep doing things you're interested in, I guarantee you at the end of the year, you'll be like, oh, I have so much to put into my portfolio. Yeah.
Every entrance exam is has a different technical studies. Most important aspect is emotion control and that related things. So considering the design and you pass this entrance and all these things and you are on this generation actually. So what is your suggestion or what you suggest to balance the emotions? Because every time exam, entrance, study, a lot of things are there.
Yeah.
How to control emotions and how to cater our emotions to get goal through.
Yeah.
What are your suggestions to this generation?
I used to be so nervous before every entrance. Like I used to just be so like scared. But I think like for example, my UCED exam, it went so badly. Like I did not even come in that whatever top 1,000 you get some. And I
didn't
knew,
qualify.
yeah, I didn't even, and I knew while I was giving it, I was like, what is this? Like I'm not understanding anything. So it was a bit demotivating after that exam, but I think you have to like pick yourself up and keep going. And that Guru Mantra really helped me because they were like, you get into NID, Srishti, IIT, we don't care. Like you will do well wherever you go because you will work hard and you're passionate about what you do. So I think just having that mindset that don't, okay, it didn't go well, cry about it, wipe your tears, next thing, like move on. I think, yeah, like you'll be fine. Like just like keep at it and you'll be okay. I think, yeah, that's all.
Are we recording? Okay. So I don't know, but nowadays, and since I'm from IIT, I can confidently talk about that. Okay, and especially design school. And as I see more and more generations, I really don't think something really unique happens in design school of IIT. I'm not talking about larger IIT, IIT Computer Science, IIT, Mechanic. I'm talking about design school at IIT, which is called as Industrial Design Center, IIT School of Design, IIT Bombay. Now, which is one of the top design schools in India. Okay, like NID. They started by the same faculty. And I meet so many people every day. My role at Guru Mantra is to meet alumni. Okay, that is my goal, or a role, I would say, not goal, but role. I meet so many people. But I don't think, something is really great over there. Wahan nahi mila to kya? Parents need to be educated. And that NEET and IIT entrance is what people are trying to map directly with. अरे NID में नहीं मिला तो अच्छा होगा life में. You will really do great. IIT में नहीं मिला तो really you will do great. Trust me. Because that guy will say कि अच्छा नहीं मिला तो मैं ऐसा करके दिखाता हूँ ना. I will really be successful in life. And these are stories. Like her brother, he did from Srishti. Now recruiting NID guys. और क्या चाहिए लाइफ में?
Yeah.
But we should always aim high. I'm not saying we shouldn't be,
Yeah.
but that's very important. And another dimension to that is, while I was at IIT, we were only 15 students selected all over India, and only 8 professors. Those were the source of knowledge. Now, with the advent of technology, millions of professors are there available for me. I don't depend only on Guru Mantra. I don't depend only on NID. I don't depend only on Google. Because so many people are there. So the design and the knowledge has got democratized.
Yeah.
So abhi wo gaya. Abhi social, how to pick those right sources is what we should be focusing on.
Yeah.
In fact, I am writing another article on LinkedIn. There's a bigger, wider, deeper world beyond design school. Design school में कुछ नहीं होता है. And I can confidently tell because I have been there for last 30 years. There are so many things happen beyond design. Entry point is design, but exit point is world. तो वहाँ पे बहुत कुछ होता है. और NID से आया इसके लिए मैं लेता नहीं हूँ. उसका पोर्टफोलियो कैसा है? IIT से आया उसके लिए मैं लेता नहीं हूँ. उसका पोर्टफोलियो कैसा है? How smart and intelligent that guy? How hatke he is? Has he really done something unique which nobody else? Nobody means not everyone is doing. So I will go for that guy. Obviously, in the corporate world, you get shortlisted because there is a system, HRMS system. उसमें IIT है select, NID है select. उसमें होता है. But how many people want to join corporate world? Gen Z, not many people. So again, these are my perception, but I think parents need to be more aware.
What was your experience preparing for exams? Anything we should do something. Anything you would have done something you feel like we should follow.
Okay, I'll think about this for a second. I think like the design entrances are also like very vast. Like when it comes to general knowledge and logical reasoning and stuff, there's no limit to how much you can prepare, right? So it's a slippery slope. Like you don't want to do too less, you don't want to do too much and burn out. So would I do anything differently? I don't think so. Like I mean, not to say that I was perfect, not at all, but honestly, I don't know if there is one perfect way to prepare for design school. Like again, I'm like a broken record at this point, but like just do your assignments that you get, read whatever you can, meet new people, have new experiences, practice what you're passionate about, and then hope for the best. Like you can, I think that's all. Yeah.
Even last
Yes.
so you knew animation even before you actually entered.
Hmm.
And when you came out of NID, you could do it better.
Hmm. Hmm.
What happened in those 3 years, I would say, excluding the first year?
Hmm.
What exactly do they do? What exactly do they cover in those 3 years?
In animation?
In animation,
Okay.
basically, how is the that those 3 years structured? What
Hmm.
exactly do they do?
Okay, so like from a very technical point of view, we have all sorts of courses over the 3 years that for animation they take you through pre-production, production, and post-production, which covers first like character design, script writing, like all of your basic fundamentals that you need to create a story. You also have fundamentals of animation, like very simple, like how does a ball bounce if you're drawing. So right from the basics you start, and then towards the last your end semesters, you have to make your own films, you have to make your own, like you use all your learnings to make something of your own. So that is usually how it is structured. I think most courses in NID are structured in a similar way, where you have a lot of technical courses. Then you also have courses for like, okay, how do I research as a designer? How do I go on field as a designer? How do I talk to people as a designer? So these soft skills are also happening. And then, like, let's say if you want to do product design, your final, they call it a design project in that year, would be creating a product for a certain client or, something like that. So, yeah, they take you from the start to the end. Yeah.
Superb. So, thank you so much.
I have one question.
Yeah.
I have one question. So, like there was I noticed there was a lot of outrage from animators or the anime community when the Studio Ghibli thing
Yeah,
happened.
yeah.
So what's your opinion about that?
I think that it was like when it happened, obviously I think the main reason people were outraged was because Miyazaki, like the creator of
Yeah.
Ghibli, like hates AI. Like he thinks it's the devil himself on like, and he thinks it's the worst thing that could happen to humanity. So I think if you're a Ghibli fan, you're a Miyazaki fan. And if you are a Miyazaki fan, you will always believe in his philosophy. And honestly, like I think it must be heartbreaking to see like something that you have developed over years and years and years and put so much effort into, only for it to be replicated by everyone around the world. But at the same time, like I think the first AI like animation style that I saw getting ripped off was like probably Pixar and Disney. So I knew it was going to happen at some point. Like Ghibli, I knew that okay, at some point they're going to start recreating this style. So even the film that I'm working on now, it has a very like unique style, like the animated film. So right now, I don't think AI can make something like that in animation. Eventually, they might be able to, but yeah, when I saw it, I felt for him and all the people who worked on these films. But yeah, I think like I mentioned earlier, like the originality can only come from humans. So I think yeah, it will be fine in the long run.
Superb. So great. Thank you so
Yes.
much, Tanvi, for coming. And we are screening Tanvi's short film of 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And just to let you know that every Saturday or first Saturday of every month, we are having coffee with a designer. And this is the second episode, and we'll be inviting multiple people on this platform. Unfortunately, this being recorded, we are not inviting many people, but only 20-30 registrations we are taking. But if you can register quickly, you can get an opportunity to see the live session happening. And looking forward for next third episode, which is Coffee with a Designer. That's going to happen on the first Saturday, 5 to 6 p.m. In the month of August. Okay, so see you there. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Thank you.